Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Welcome to our first podcast. Alhamdulillah, we can discuss and learn together. Previously, let us introduce ourselves. We are from class C. Okay. My name is Arini Wijayanti and my last number is 68.
And my name is Melania Indar and my last number is 62.
And also me, my name is Intan Erawati with my last student number is 79. Under this condition and situation, we wish you all in a healthy and productive condition.
That's right, friends. Just stay at home and adhere to existing health protocols to do physical distancing and wear a mask when you eat outdoors. Eat healthy food, wash your hands regularly with soap, and get adequate rest.
Okay, in this podcast we will talk and learning a little about phonetics, the place and manner of articulation, and it divides into three. There are the place of articulation, and then the manner of articulation, and the last one is basis of the activity of vocal chords. The first one is, what is the place of articulation? Place of articulation is the where of pronunciation. It is the location of where sounds are produced. In this section, you will learn where to place your tongue, your teeth, and your lips when creating sounds, how different sounds involve different parts in the mouth, and how to pronounce all of the consonant sounds in English. First, we will look where the different parts of the mouth are located, and then look at where each of the English consonants are pronounced. The place of articulation is important in pronunciation because you must to know where to produce sounds in order to pronounce them correctly. If you are not pronouncing a consonant correctly, it is probably because the place of articulation is not correct as you are pronouncing the sound. Here are the places of articulation you will learn: labials, lips, dentals, teeth, tongue, palate, roof of the mouth. The hard palate is the harder part of the roof of the mouth. In the front half of the mouth, the soft palate is farther back, near the rear of the mouth. Alveolar ridge, the gums behind your top teeth. If you are not pronouncing a consonant correctly, it is usually because you are not articulating the consonant in the correct location. Sometimes it is important to go back to basics and make sure that your tongue, teeth, and lips are in the right shape and location in order to produce the sounds you want to make. Here is a list of the sounds you will learn today. Bilabials, formed with two lips. Example, p for pop, b for bub, and m for mum. And then labiodentals, formed with the bottom lip and the top teeth. Example, f for fish and v for very. Interdentals, formed by putting the tongue between the teeth. Example, th for thick and then f for thuff. Alveolars, formed by putting the tongue on the alveolar ridge, which is the gum line above the top teeth. Example, t for Tom, and then t for dad, and n for nan, s for say, z for zoo, l for lamp, and then r for run. Palatals, formed by touching the sides of the tongue to the roof of the mouth. Example, sheep, pleasure, trip, jump, and yogurt. Velars, formed by putting the back part of the tongue against the soft palate. Example, k for curl, and then g for girl, and then song. Tongue twisters for consonant pronunciation practice. Are you ready to practice your consonant sounds? Here is the tongue twisters that I can say. Okay, I want to try say it. G and g. How many cookies could a good cook cook if a good cook could cook cookies? A good cook could cook as much cookies as a good cook who could cook cookies.
Okay, thank you so much, Arini. And then, what is the manner of articulation? Manner of articulation is the how of making sounds. When learning our first language, we don't usually think about how we make the sounds we do. We just reproduce what we have heard over the first few years of our lives. We make the sounds without thinking how our mouth, tongue, and teeth are doing. Unless we need the additional support of speech therapy. Manner of articulation is important to know how sounds are made, so that you can pronounce sounds correctly and speak more clearly. Okay, in this section, we will talk about manner of articulation, or how we make sounds. There are 6 different ways of manners of articulation. The first is stop or passive. We breathe pressure of air and then release it. This is a sudden burst of air. Example: P for pig, B for big, T for tall, D for dad, K for kick, and G for girl. The second is fricative. We stop part of the air so it can come through everywhere. It is a stream of air. Imagine a river of water flowing. Then imagine putting a large rock in the center of the river. The flow of the water would change because of the large rock, but the water would still flow around it. This is a strong description of what a fricative sound is formed. There is a flowing river of air, and you partially block it with your tongue, teeth, or lips. The examples: F for from and calf, V for view and have, S for thick and path, T for the and rather, S for sweet and bus, Z for zit and jazz, S for shoot and brass, Z for vision and measure, H for happy and hope. The third is affricate. We combine stop and fricative to form affricate. Affricate start with a stop and then transition into a fricative. Example: Ch for chip and catch, D for just and patch. The next is nasal. We close our palate and let air stream through the nose. Example: for moon, N for nap, for going. And then liquid. We let air stream on the sides of our tongue. Example: R for red and deer, La for light and fill. And the last is glide. We move our mouth constantly from a articulation to a vowel sounds. Examples: W for wind, Y for yellow.
Oh, I understand now what is about the place of articulation and the manner of articulation. Thank you very much, Arini and Mela, for your explanation. But friends, apart from the place of articulation and the manner of articulation, in the classification of consonant, there is also the activity of vocal cords. Do you guys already know about the activity of vocal cords? If not, so let me explain for you. Okay, the vocal cord consists of two cartilage of two thick flaps of muscle rather like a pair of flaps. When the edge of vocal cord are touching each other or nearly touching, the air passing through the glottis will usually cause vibration. In the production of consonant, the vocal cord in the larynx may or may not be made to vibrate simultaneously. When the production of a consonant is followed by the vibrating of vocal cord, the consonant is voiced. When it is not accompanied by the vibration of vocal cord, it is said to be voiceless. Some trembling around the Adam's apple, like the point of a firm neck, indicate that the vocal cords are vibrating. English consonant can be grouped into these two classes, voiced and voiceless. Most of them go in pairs. The consonants are said to be in pair when they are produced in the same manner of abstraction and at the same point of articulation. They are only different in the case of the activity of vocal cord. For instance, the voice like P has the voice counterpart like P. However, not all the two classes are present in English. Some of consonants have no counterpart. For example, nasal are only voiced based on this variable. In English, consonants are classified into groups. Looking at them, it can be said that the voiced consonants are greater in a number than the voiceless one. Thus, most of voiceless consonants have voiced counterpart. The participle application of distinguish between voiced and voiceless sound is found in the pronunciation of the English suffix in plural noun, verb of the third person, and the suffix ate, past and past participle of regular verb. We can see over there, like suffix as when it is added to a noun stem ending in a voiceless consonant. For example, like looks, it being looked, stop like stops, read like read. And on the chart of consonant, the different places of articulation are arranged from left to right, and manner of articulation are arranged from top to bottom. In each column of point of articulation, there are two parts for voiceless and voiced sound. Voiced sound, by using this each sound, can be described in terms of 3 points of view. Okay, that's our podcast for today. My friend and I apologize if there are still sentences that are not pleasing. We are only human beings who will never escape wrong. Thank you for coming and want to listen to our podcast. See you again. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
If you found the one, you should never give her up. I think it's the way life changes when in love, yeah.